Pisces, welcome to your mid-February 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So, the first part of February, or actually I would say the midpoint, is a time when we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius on the 11th of February. So this is a sign that is right before yours, and this will be in the 12th house. And you have so much going on in the 12th house. It's so interesting that Pisces in its own house has like this party there that is unprecedented. Well, I mean, it's happened before, but not for many, many years. And so you might be saying to yourself, well, what can I do with all of this energy in the 12th house? Well, that's up to you to figure out, because this is a house of endings, the house of tying up the loose ends before moving on to a new cycle. But it can also be the spiritual dimensions and past lives. And for some of you, this may show up in the type of work that you're doing, the healing that you're engaged in, maybe for yourself in some way. So there are other things that can be connected to this as well. So new beginnings in that area for sure. And this is where the Mercury retrograde is too. So that's pretty interesting. Let's see what the cards say. So yeah, so I'm going to be doing an end of the month reading too. So this is going to take us up until the mid part of the month. Maybe that's the climax when everything is happening. Okay. So maybe you've been playing the waiting game in some sense, or feeling the sense of things not really working out the way that you've wanted. So another thing that we have to remember as we're coming into the middle part of February is that it will mark in mid-February 11 months since the shutdown. And in the Northern Hemisphere, this is going to be the end of winter. This, February. March tends to be thought of as spring, even the meteorological spring on the first of the month or what have you. So February is kind of those endings in terms of seasons and in terms of, things coming back to life, springing back into action. I'm just talking about where I happen to live. Some of you may be in a place where right now it's summertime, and that might be a totally different vibe in a certain sense. But the basics are that the time is that we're getting up to that year point. And so because of what may have happened with the shutdown, some of you may have had job loss or underemployment, and this is the past position. So this is the Five of Cups, or I don't even say cups, Pentacles, and you can see that this card has kind of a challenging association to it. Pentacles relate to job, money, matters. This is the card, I call this the card of lack consciousness. Now, it's important to note that people can have a feeling of lack consciousness even if they have enough to pay their bills. It's simply because they're comparing it to a time when, oh God, I can remember when I was able to do this or do that, and now look at what my income is, or something like that. And that's why when I say lack consciousness, it's not really related to what is happening, and it's a state of mind. So it's kind of like a pessimistic state of mind concerning your finances. So really it can be this sense of like you getting into like what's that term? I can't think of it exactly, but just this looking at the glass half empty type of thing. Now, the heart of the matter is the Eight of Wands. So you can see that there are shoots of leaves on the wands, and that's representing this new burst of growth. Uh, Wands relate to fire signs, and the fire element is creative, autonomous. So it's concerned with freedom, and whether it's the freedom of the self, freedom of self-expression, of being able to, create your own thing. So in some cases, when we have wands, it can be entrepreneurial energy. In this case, I see it as, it could be that if you have your own business and it has been stagnant, and then it's like all systems are go. And it's kind of like potential energy. So like pent up energy, and then all of a sudden, the dam bursts, and then you're like, whoa, I have so many orders here. I don't know how I'm going to be able to fulfill them. So it's almost like something energetic was in a place of reserve, and then everything just kind of bursts wide open. And it can actually be very heartening to have this type of thing, because it can make you feel like you were destined to go through that dark night of the soul, if you will. And this may be on the material level. So it's dark night of the bank account or something, in order to understand fully that you have to have faith, trust in God, know that these kinds of things, that this too shall pass, but there's a higher purpose to it all. And sometimes we just don't know what it is, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist just because we don't know what it is. And we kind of give thanks that that drought is over with. It's like a drought, droughts happen. And, you just celebrate the rain, and you celebrate the sense of the growth of the crops. So, you have to be prepared if you're, looking for work, for instance, that you can field these offers. Maybe you're going to work 2 jobs at once. Who knows? The higher message is the Knight of Swords. This is a card. If this is going to be a spiritual message, I would say it is about having that sense of detachment, where you are not so like dependent on an outer force to do something. Now, this card actually can be quite outspoken. So perhaps there was a situation where you were being jerked around with a job, and you finally had enough of that because you realized maybe other people that you were working with were able to get more hours or what have you, and you felt that there was something more to the story, and maybe there was. But the moral of the story too can be that you have your own mind from day one, that you're not going to kind of, if you're not happy about something, that you speak up, that you're not going to just kind of go along with the program and then still get thrown under the bus, those kinds of things. I think of the Knight of Swords as that kind of a restless mind. Sometimes I feel like this can also talk about the kind of work that the person is doing. Well, I know it can talk about that, but in this position, even though this is spiritual, we can run the gamut. We could say you were working someplace that was like a bank or something, and really you are more intellectual and you need that kind of stimulation. Or if somebody is in a mental profession like teaching, and you want to, like somebody who is teaching writing, but you want to be a writer, that kind of dynamic, because the Eight of Wands, this is about creativity, for instance. And the number 8 is a number of personal power, but I would just say like the power that is connected to material success and wealth. And the thing is that when you feel a passion for something, you're more likely to sustain it than when you're doing something simply to, you know, sustain your body or something like that, stay alive. What crosses you is the Four of Cups. So this is kind of like that person who is getting an offer of sorts, and they're not really that enthused about it. They're kind of just staring at it. And that's what I'm saying. Be careful about putting yourself in that situation, Pisces, ever, where you are indifferent, because that can be a real red flag that whatever it is that you are getting involved with is not something that you're going to feel connected to. You're a water sign, so your emotions, you should value your emotions as much as possible. Now, if all of this has to do with a love situation, there can be somebody coming in that is new, that is a fire sign. I would typically say Sag, could be Leo or Aries, other fire signs, and perhaps you didn't think that you were going to meet this person. Obviously, you have to put yourself out there for this to even be possible. But or the Five of Pentacles can be that you're with an Earth sign. Your opposite sign is Virgo. There's Capricorn and Taurus, and that person is rather pessimistic. They're just like, maybe they're very materialistic, and this other person may just be like very uplifting to you. What is coming in is represented by the Hangman. The Hangman is connected to you through Neptune, and Neptune is a planet that is just, physically we would call it clouds or mist or fog because of the nebulous fog, unsure quality that Neptune is. There's always like swirling in illusion or swirling in fantasy, whatever you want to call it. And so it can be that you feel like you're on hold right now. And that's why I say with the Eight of Wands, this may not have happened for you, Pisces, unless this is like a job offer. It was like you were looking for a job and then in one day you got like 3 job offers or something crazy like that. And in that case, it might be saying, okay, that was an initial little burst of energy, but you're still going to have to, surrender to the situation. Not give up, but surrender to it so that you're not constantly trying to force the will of the universe. But just, take it as it comes. Allow whatever is going to happen. And you're going to, be hands off. And they talk about this in the law of attraction. They say, you have your desire, and once you have like placed your order with the universe, then you say, you know what, how it happens is none of my business. How this all unfolds is none of my business. So you're not just like continuing to try to push something that you no longer have any control over. You envision what you want and then you let it go. The outcome is the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I don't know if like on a subconscious level I knew I picked this card, because I was thinking to myself, oh, what if this card shows up, but I didn't see it because I was looking at the other cards. Because I was going to say maybe you have to choose between 2 things. Now this could be 2 people. This could be a job offer that, especially if it's overseas, this is a time where we're in the midst of a Mercury retrograde. Oh, that was another thing that I should have mentioned with all these transits that are going on right now in Aquarius. The Mercury retrograde ends on, I think it's on the 21st of February or the 20th, depending on where you live. So, it'll still be in its shadow, but whatever. At least it's forward moving. And during a Mercury retrograde, you may hear from someone in the past, including a former employer or somewhere where you applied and maybe completely forgot about, and then all of a sudden you got a call. And maybe all of these are places where at one time and you were looking for work and you sent your resumes out to all these different places, and then all of a sudden you get some kind of a contact. And in some cases this may be, yeah, we have a job for you, you just have to move across the world. Are you willing to do that? That's what the Eight of Wands is. Are you willing, this can be a card of travel. Are you willing to, travel at the drop of a hat to further your career goals? So in any case, Pisces, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated in some way. If you would like a personal reading, I'm primarily an astrologer, so most of my readings that I offer are astrology based, but I have a combination for 2 full-length readings, if you like the tarot, I should say, plus natal chart interpretation for a special price. So you can check that out, and that's called the whole enchilada. And I have other types of readings as well. The link is below. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.